Good morning.
Good morning.
It being Epiphany Sunday, we are reading about the three kings going to Bethlehem to meet baby Jesus. But before I read that, I would like to tell you about frankincense and myrrh. Frankincense is available on Amazon. It's originated from Africa and India and the Middle East. It is from the boswellia tree, and due to population growth and climate change, it's very hard to find now. Frankincense can be bought for $18 for 4 fluid ounces. That's a half a cup. So a gallon would cost you over $500. It is #1 bestseller on Amazon for facial oils. But what you would do is it's 2% ratio to a carrier oil like coconut oil or almond oil. So it's a couple drops with all the rest. Frankincense can help reduce the occurrence of cracked skin, stretch marks, dark spots, acne, and other blemishes, providing moisture to your skin. And for us older people, it can lift and tighten. A few drops on your toenails and fingernails can make them shiny. And fragrance can be added to your scented candles. You can add it to your bath to melt away stresses. It promotes hair growth. Somewhat spicy and slightly woody and very fresh, the odor of frankincense is considered to be very soothing and promotes the feelings of relaxation through its aroma. Many believe that a whiff of this oil, once diffused, can help boost and focus concentration. Sounds good. Myrrh can also be bought on Amazon. It is $27 for 2 teaspoons. And that would be over $20,000 a gallon. Myrrh oil is extracted from the myrrh tree, which is a small, tiny, thorny bush. It's very popular in the ancient world and was used for remedies by the Chinese and the Egyptians. It is native to Arabia and Africa. For topical use only, it's recommended to dilute it 1% to the carrier oil. Myrrh is often used for creating a relaxing atmosphere to meditate in. You can add a few drops to your inhaler to help calm the mind and ease troubled thoughts. Its calming, woody essential oil makes a great gift for the pastor. Hey, next year, and as a Christmas gift, popular Christmas gift. 100% myrrh oil relieves pain, anti-inflammatory, and can help rejuvenate the skin. It can be combined with coconut oil to soothe redness, wrinkles, and acne scars. Okay, now back to Matthew. Matthew 2, 1 through 12, and I am reading from the King James Version. Now, when Jesus was born in Bethlehem of Judea in the days of Herod the king, behold, there came wise men from the east to Jerusalem, saying, "Where is he that is born King of the Jews? For we have seen his star in the east, and are come to worship him." When Herod the king heard these things, he was troubled, and all of Jerusalem with him. And when he gathered all the chief priests and scribes of the people together, he demanded of them where Christ should be born. And they said unto him, "In Bethlehem of Judea, for thus it is written by the prophets, And be thou, Bethlehem, in the land of Judah, art not the least among the princes of Judah? For out of thee shall come a governor that shall rule my people Israel." And Herod, when he had privily called the wise men, inquired of them diligently what time the star appeared. And he sent them to Bethlehem and said, "Go and search diligently for the young child. And when ye have found him, bring me word again, that I may come and worship him also." And when they had heard the king, They departed, and lo, the star which they saw in the east went before them, till it came and stood over where the young child was. And when they saw the star, they rejoiced with exceeding great joy. And when they were come into the house, they saw the young child with Mary his mother, and fell down and worshipped him. And when they had opened their treasures, they presented unto him gifts, gold, frankincense, and myrrh. And being warned of God in a dream that they should not return to Herod, they departed unto their own country another way.
Thank you, Ginny, for sharing those words with us this morning and for putting together my Christmas list for next year. I know since I can be relaxed and my skin can be free of wrinkles and I'll just be renewed. So, and maybe we can put a bulk order in, I don't know. Anyway, thank you so much for sharing those words with us of Scripture this morning, and may God enlighten our minds as we share together in this moment. Let us be in prayer. Oh God, as we seek to reflect on your word for our lives, help us to just move aside, get out of our own way, that we might see you, hear you, feel your presence in our midst as we gather together here and as we better understand your word for our lives. We give you thanks. Amen. Well, as Ginny said, we're celebrating Epiphany, which actually was on Friday this year, the 6th. It's the day in the Christian calendar when we celebrate the fact that the wise men or the magi, whichever you want to call them, follow this star in the night sky that had appeared. Now there's lots of speculations about what that star may have been, a supernova, some celestial anomaly, but it really doesn't matter. Whatever it was, there was something significant, a star, a bright light in the sky that they chose to follow because they saw that as a sign of something happening in the world. And that fact that they followed that star is a pretty miraculous story. And there's no wonder that it's retold year after year on the heels of Christmas. It is a beautiful story of discovery, of transformation. These men followed that star with one intention, to see the one that they believed it heralded. And they left receiving more than they saw. And that's the crux of the message. The passage reads that they returned home by another way. They were not the same as when they set out to follow. They were changed. And that essentially is what the Christmas story is about. It is why we find something so special about Christmas, this Christmas season. It is not about just seeing, but receiving. It is not simply hearing the story told again each year, but being changed within by the message of love that it tells. Friday evening, I walked out around our farm after the snow had stopped. And I don't know, maybe some of you did the same. I was excited because I like to look at the stars and the moon, a big deal to me. And I knew it was a full moon. It was the first full moon of the year, called the wolf moon. And I wanted so badly to see it, and I was really kind of frustrated that it was cloudy, and I didn't get to see the moon rise. But around 8 o'clock, I noticed that behind the clouds, it was starting to peek through. And about 9:30, I went out for an evening walk. And it was unreal. It was beautiful. It was so quiet. I kind of thought about that. It was the night before Christmas. The moon on the breast of the new fallen snow gave a luster of midday to objects below. That's what it was like. You didn't need a flashlight. I could see the silhouette of the bison laying in the field. I could see the snow hanging on the branches. And it was just a spectacular moment. It was beautiful. And then in the morning, I went out again before the sun rose. And though the moon was not visible because of the clouds, I caught a glimpse of some of the stars and saw 2 satellites going through the sky. And I realized that it's been some time since I've taken my morning walks and sat under the stars because, well, the weather hasn't been all that great lately, and we haven't seen a really clear sky for a while. And I realized how much I missed it. And I was out again this morning, captivated by the beauty. The snow-covered ground sparkled like diamonds with the moonlight. You know, it's become a part of my regular meditation, which some of you are very aware of, for me to go out and sit under the stars in the early morning. But it's not the stars that I'm so much gazing at, but the inner peace that I feel. It makes me feel complete, and when I'm not doing that, I realize there's something missing in my life. And I hold that peace throughout the day. And I look forward to the next morning. And I would imagine that it might not be that morning hour for you, but I would imagine you have your own spaces that fill you, that help you stay in a positive place, to stay in the light when the darkness looms around you. Are there stars that you are following? Intentions you have for your life, or at least for the near term? Hopes, dreams, desires? Many make resolutions at the beginning of the new year. Plans to move toward a healthier life, maybe more positive, more fulfilling life. And on the other hand, some of us don't bother making those anymore because maybe we don't keep them. We change our plans, or maybe we've set the bar too high, or we just don't find it, we lose interest in them. So it truly doesn't matter that we make resolutions at the start of a new year, but what matters is that we regularly make a personal commitment to align ourselves to lives of purpose, following a set of values, beliefs, a life-changing faith based in love, a star that sheds light on our pathway forward of fulfillment and wholeness. Now, I discovered this truth about stargazing when I first began venturing outdoors in the early morning a few years ago. That while my desire to stand in awe of the starlit sky drove me to be out there, something else began to happen within me. An openness to the wonder and the mystery, the gratitude and peace. I'm still captivated by the beauty I see with my eyes, but that's not so much why I venture out anymore. It's what happens within that keeps me, even in these cold mornings, to put on my snow pants, my hat, my mittens, my boots, and stand out there and walk around. It is about surrendering. Now, I know that's not a popular word these days. Surrender sounds like, giving up and giving in and letting somebody else control us. But no, it's about surrendering and bearing witness to something greater than ourselves, a mystery of magnificent proportions that fills us beyond words. I know you have places that bring that in your life. Here's a story that I uncovered this week that some of you may have seen. It is about an act of love that evolved from a man who saw and was changed, touched so deeply within that he gave himself beyond measure. The story is about an autistic boy, 11-year-old, and a piano in Aurora, Colorado. Did any of you see that story this week? There's a father who it starts out with a father who tells the story about being out in his yard and hearing music coming out of his basement. There's an old keyboard down there that when they had moved into the house, it was there. And he thought, well, who in our house plays the piano? So he went and he peeked down the stairs, and there's his son playing beautiful melody. And he thought, well, wow, I'm going to buy a better keyboard. I'm going to get something else and that really is in tune and see what he does with that. And he played that one so beautifully, and it became a local story that a piano tuner in the community sought the family out to hear this child play. And he learned that this family was from Ghana. They had immigrated here to the United States, to Colorado. And they were a family of 4, maybe they had 4 children, the details of that I can't remember now. And they were sending money back to Ghana to family members there. And the piano tuner wondered about this child and how much support he could get for his musical ability. And what he did is he took money of his own and he bought a grand piano and delivered that to the family. And he promised that he would tune it for the rest of his life every month, and that he paid for music lessons for this young boy. What he saw was more than an autistic boy, a boy that had a label, but a child with a remarkable gift. You know, when we open ourselves up to the miracles in life, we will see them. When we look beyond the ordinary, we will discover the extraordinary. When we gaze at the stars, we will discover the amazing truth of the universe and our place within it. When we look for God's presence in our world, we will see it in the coming together of humanity, the kindness that surrounds us. It was more than not wanting to confront Herod that found the Magi returning to their homes by a different route. But the very fact that what they witnessed and what they came to know was worth cherishing and treasuring in their hearts. What are the stars? The intentions that you are following these days? What brought you here this morning? What drew you to this place in this moment in time? Whatever is leading you along your journey, may you discover more than you find and know more than you can imagine of peace and of love, of joy and of wonder. The light that sustains you even in the darkness. The amazing truth is this: what we seek, we will find. The doors we knock on will be opened, and what we ask for will be revealed. Blessings.